And like that, we back. It's your boy Pete Rose. Spill Entertainment presents Chronic Conversation. We back with another reaction video, and today it is serious. I was going to bend, put the video out. I said, let some more info come out before I put my video out. You know, this is Big U, leader of the Rolling 60 Crips out in LA, has been indicted. Him and 19 other people, Brick Baby and Loose Cannon, who feature on No Jumper podcast. They have been linked in that too. And we're going to go on to the other side, on LA side, and see what's going on with this situation, because these allegations, because at the end of the day, they're allegations, but, in the eyes of the law, it's supposed to say innocent until proven guilty. But we know here in the United States, as black men, you're guilty until you prove yourself innocent. So these are still alleged. The government still has to prove their case against Big U and the other 19 co-defendants. And this indictment says they've been watching them since 2022. 3 years worth of intel. I'll tell you one thing, man. When the cops come, they're trying to figure out the pieces. When the feds come, they already got all the pieces here. That's the last piece. So without further ado, let's do our homework and let's see what's going on with this. Because this situation is crazy.
Following several breaking news stories, taxpayer money and donations to
chooses smarter email and marketing automation platform that suggests new ideas and adapts to what your customers want. Take care of the work no one.
That Eugene Henley Jr. and Brian Mejia were taken into custody. Henley Jr. is a longtime leader of the Rolling 60s Crips, according to the FBI. But in recent years, he worked in entertainment and ran a youth charity that the acting U.S. attorney now says was a front for his criminal enterprise. NBC4's Camilla Rambaldi live in downtown L.A. with the very latest developments on this. Camilla?
Now, hi, Colleen. 19 defendants in total in connection to this criminal enterprise. At least two of them appeared in federal court earlier today. And now, as you mentioned, Eugene Henley and another fugitive are now in custody tonight in connection to this case. A nonprofit in South LA now facing federal charges.
A career criminal known as Big U.
Eugene Henley is accused of being a longtime leader of the Rolling 60s Crips street gang. Federal prosecutors say Henley ran a criminal enterprise and is accused of a number of crimes, including racketeering, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of a musician.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar.
Federal authorities say there are other alleged gang members facing charges they say are connected to the criminal enterprise. A number of arrests were made this week.
Now let's see some of these people on this right here. We got Ron. We got Ron, a.k.a. Ronnie Mack. It looks like Lamont Green, Frederick K. Bolton, Tyson Devon Jones, a.k.a. Blueface, Jacquees Lee Smith, a.k.a. JJ, Joshua, I won't butcher his last name, but he's on there. Terrence Williams, Loose Cannon. They got the same, him and Gangster got the same name? I ain't know that. Zaire Mitchell, aka Brick Baby, Eugene Henley Jr., aka Big U, Mark Martin Anthony, aka Bear Claw, Sylvester Robinson, aka Vev, Armisha, and I can't pronounce the last name. But that's these are some of the people on the indictment right here. And I gotta say, other than Loose Cannon and Brick Baby, a lot of these guys up here, but a lot of these people are older. Bro, he looks older. He's older. He's older. He's older. He's older. He's older. Bev is older. And I gotta see some of these brothers down here, but a couple of them look older. Let's get back into it, y'all.
Week, these sketches show two defendants, Sylvester Robinson and Mark Martin, in federal court Wednesday afternoon.
Look at Sylvester and Mark. Sylvester and Mark are old. Look at the sketch of Sylvester and Mark. They're old. Hey, man, this is going to be tricky. Who's going to bend? Who's going to fold? Who's going to break? Because when you 50 plus, 60 plus, and they say you facing 20, we got all the evidence. Who's going to bend? Who's going to fold? Who's going to break?
Dude.
4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours.
Court documents also state Henley fraudulently obtained funding from the city of Los Angeles through the Gang Reduction Youth Development Foundation. Henley was the founder behind the nonprofit Developing Options that helps support at-risk youth.
Mr. Henley duped the county of Los Angeles by running a nonprofit named Developing Options, which was set up to pull youth out of the gang life and promote anti-gang solutions. Yet Mr. Henley continued to personally orchestrate violent gang activity that impact our communities.
Court documents state Henley had drawn hundreds of thousands of dollars for his own use.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity.
Federal prosecutors say Henley could face a 20-year prison sentence if convicted.
Bro, you facing a dub. That's got a 99% conviction rate, man. It's going to be an uphill battle, Big Yo. And it's stemming from the internet stories of how y'all was extorting people, checking in and all that. You know, it comes from that, bro. And you running a nonprofit trying to change the community, and this is all allegedly. But if you're running a nonprofit doing better for the community, why are you involving this stuff in the violent part of the gang culture and the lowest form of the gang culture? Because you can be a gang member and still uphold your community and do positive things. Because when I get in a couple other videos, I found out that there's other grid programs. They're not targeting those other grid programs. And all of the grid programs together are, because it was a grant and several organizations got the grant. And when I get into another video, I'm going to show you that the other organizations speaking out, and they're saying all positive stuff. But to say this, Big Q tried to say he's a black man supporting the community and they're targeting a black man we do good. But what about the other programs that's doing the same thing on the community level and doing it the right way without these allegations on their name of checking in and doing diabolical stuff? So, like I said, it says innocent until proven guilty, but we know in America, it is guilty and proven innocent, especially with the feds. Let's get back into the homework. Let's go.
And tax records show millions of dollars poured into the nonprofit the feds say was at the center of this criminal enterprise. Our investigative reporter Eric Leonard joins us now with more on how this organization was being funded and where all this money was going. Eric.
Well, hi, Michael. Well, the most surprising discovery here is that
always remember, When you're doing nonprofit work, it's always a paper trail. You're always watching where that money go. And when I get into Big U talking, he said, yeah, he paid this rent and all that. No, that's your salary. You know, you get a salary. You get a salary for the events that you do and what you put on when you're in a nonprofit. That's how you get paid. You get a salary for what you do, not just taking the money and using it for whatever you have. When you run a nonprofit and you're submitting for a grant, it has stipulations in the grant. And then when you're filling out your proposal for your grant, everything is in there, the cost of everything is in there, and then you had the ultimate budget at the end. So money is allocated to different things. Even if the thing don't work, you can't take that money and allocate it to something else. It don't work like that. That is embezzlement. It's okay. We doing our homework today. We in school today.
Of LA has been paying these nonprofits millions of dollars in recent years, and the amounts have only gone up. The California Franchise Tax Board issued a suspension notice in April 2024 for one of the nonprofits operated by Eugene Henley Jr., who federal prosecutors in LA announced Wednesday faces racketeering and corruption charges for allegedly misusing money meant for the city's gang intervention efforts. Henley's most recent contract with the city shows a payment of nearly $800,000 due in July 2024, the final installment of a 4-year agreement that paid his groups more than $2.2 million for intervention. Henley, seen here in a red carpet photo, began forming the nonprofits in 2009, according to state records. They began receiving city gang intervention funding as far back as 2011. Between 2018 and 2023, LA Controller payment records show Henley's groups received around $500,000 a year. Then, in 2023, a significant increase that followed then-Mayor Eric Garcetti's efforts to increase funding for intervention work after the rise in violent street crime that followed the COVID-19 pandemic. Looking at the tax records for the Ex-Offender Fellowship, which includes the city money and private donations, you can see its revenue went from around $500,000 a year to nearly $800,000, then to nearly $2 million for 2023. The last tax return available. Where was the money going? The tax returns show while Eugene Henley Jr. was paid $95,000 as president and director, nearly all the money collected went to compensate unnamed top staff.
Right there. You see what his salary was? $95,000. That was his salary. They told you his salary in the beginning. The rest of the money can't go to unnamed sources. It has to go to who you said is going to in that proposal. Once you don't give that money to who you say you're going to give it to, or you don't spend all the money, that is embezzlement. Like I said, he has a salary. You got a salary already. You take your salary and then that's what you use for your life. The rest is allocated to everybody else. The rule of it is everybody eats big.
Staff members, including corporate officers, directors, and trustees. According to the criminal complaint, Henley diverted much of that money to his personal bank accounts, and the feds say he allegedly pocketed tens of thousands of dollars in donations intended for the groups, including a $20,000 contribution from an NBA All-Star.
Right there, right there. You cannot do that when you're running a nonprofit. First of all, those donations have to be set to something, some type of event, something. And the money has to get spent. The money can't just go to you. That is embezzlement. Another form of embezzlement through donations. You cannot do that. You can't do that, bro. You can't do that. Like, you're running a nonprofit all the wrong way. And that is embezzlement. When you take money that's allocated for other things and you use it for your personal gain, that's embezzlement. And it's a paper trail on everything. And if you're getting donations, you have to file with the IRS. You have a paper trail with the IRS, the city of LA, state of California. They all know your information. They all can bring up your paperwork and see who's going where. That's why they're saying unknown people were getting checks. What that sound like?
Federal authorities say, in addition to all of that, they believe that Henley evaded taxes by not reporting all of this income, was also allegedly involved in a scheme to get a home loan that he wouldn't have qualified for otherwise. Back to you.
That, and with Henley Jr.'s influence reaching across the community and entertainment industry, there are questions tonight about where else his network might spread. NBC4's Conan Nolan joins us live from the News Operations Center to continue that part of our coverage tonight. Conan?
That's right, Colleen. When it comes to public money, this could not come at a worse time. Remember, state and local governments, including the city of LA, are looking at a major budget shortfall. They normally ask Washington for help. This news is not going to aid that effort. Washington not to cut out federal grant money for the mayor's signature effort at fighting gang violence.
Through our Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program, also known as GRID, we are directly addressing gang violence through intervention, prevention, and community engagement services.
But according to the U.S. Department of Justice today, not all of that money was going to reduce gang violence. Federal authorities say self-described community activist Eugene Henley, also known as Big U, received $2.3 million from the city over 5 years for gang intervention efforts. Money prosecutors say instead went into drug trafficking, fraud, even murder, and Henley's own bank account.
A criminal enterprise where hundreds of thousands of dollars were siphoned off that should have gone to charitable purposes, gang reduction, gang intervention.
The news comes exactly at the wrong time for those trying to halt the evisceration of federal spending by the Trump administration, and most specifically, billionaire Elon Musk. While crime prevention grant money is a tiny fraction of the overall federal budget, it helps with the messaging from the White House, says Jessica Levinson, former chair of the Los Angeles Ethics Commission. She teaches election law at Loyola Law School.
Is it possible that this becomes an example for Elon Musk to point to? I think at this point, everything is possible. Everything is on the table, saying, look at this terrible use of your taxpayer money. That's generally a winner for people who want to reduce federal funding and federal spending.
And it's not just the issue of gangs, but also of homelessness. Today, the Los Angeles City Council voted 13-0 to try to track the money they get from the city and over to nonprofit groups.
They got the whole city. They invest in everything now. They going through everything with a magnifying glass, looking at where all the money is going to all these community events. I want to say this. I hope and pray that the situation with Big U does not harm the GRID program on the federal level, because that's where they get the money from, the federal level. Because there's other programs that got grants from the program that actually are doing the right thing for the community and decreasing homicides in LA. So I hope this doesn't create a stain so they can't keep doing the work that they're doing. Because when we get into the rest of the video, there's some brothers that talk about their GRID program and receiving their grants and what they've been doing. Let's get back into it. Let's do our homework. They're alleging Big U of creating a nonprofit and embezzling funds for not only itself, but criminal activities. And it was a couple holes already seen. The one where they said his salary, but these other hundreds of thousands of dollars was going to random people with random titles. And that looks shiesty right there in itself. It's a lot to unpack. It is more to unpack. We ain't done. We ain't done, because we gonna initially go into what led to even them really getting on this case and the feds coming in now. And it's deep. It's not just the nonprofit and embezzling money. Yes, that is a major thing, but when you start adding other factors in, extortion, criminal enterprising, sex trafficking, now you're looking at a whole lot of charges. And they say you're facing up to a dub. It's gonna be crazy right here. Let's keep doing our homework.
Big U ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper. Henley is a music entertainment entrepreneur known for helping Nipsey Hussle launch his music career. Multiple others have been arrested in connection to the RICO case. Henley is considered a fugitive.
Let's break.
So at that moment, they were looking for him. And R.I.P. Nipsey. He managed Nipsey. There's some rumors around about that situation. You know, it's tricky out there, man. And right now, Big U is in a real situation. Because like I said, there's 19 other co-defendants on the case. Somebody telling already. Somebody already telling. Ain't nobody going out for him, especially the people that's old. Maybe some of the younger ones might, or whatever. But him and Loose Cannon was just beefing. So I don't know why Loose Cannon would rock out with it now. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know their politics. I don't know the way it goes. I'm just here reporting on the story of Big U being indicted with 19 other Rolling 60 Crips the other day. And they're saying he's embezzling money from the nonprofit for his own gains and also for criminal activity. You heard it in the last video, sex trafficking and other things. And this is all allegedly. He has to fight this in court, but with the feds, 99% conviction rate, man. It's cop out or tell. Cop out or tell. Not too many people beat the feds at all. Like, that is a serious task. I gotta look that up and actually see how many people have ever beat the federal government straight up. Jump in the comments, and if you know that answer, please let me know.
Big U Henley turned himself in today. He and more than a dozen others are facing charges. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is in the newsroom for us tonight with details on the federal indictment. Darsha.
Eugene Henley, or Big U, is known as an anti-gang activist, but authorities say he is everything but that, using his prominent role in the South LA Crips gang to run a criminal enterprise. He was declared a fugitive earlier today. Henley did turn himself in, but first he recorded this video.
It's going to probably be my last video. I'm going to go turn myself in to see what's going on.
Eugene Henley, also known as Big U, posted this video to Instagram declaring his innocence.
It's crazy. But I'm going to go turn myself in, though. Because I ain't did nothing.
Federal authorities say the music executive used his connections to the South Los Angeles Rolling 60s Crips gang to run a mafia-like organization, all while pretending to be a successful and charitable entrepreneur.
He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur running a music label and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options.
But the complaint unsealed today paints a very different picture, alleging Henley's Big U enterprise engaged in illegal activities, including extortion, robbery, murder, human trafficking, wire fraud, bank fraud, and other financial crimes.
But right there, they're saying he used that nonprofit money, that $2 million he received over 5 years, to do that right there. That's what it's about. Yeah, he said he enriched himself and all that and paid other people, whatever, but he used money for that, allegedly.
And a cheat.
Federal authorities say Henley murdered an aspiring musician in January of 2021 in Las Vegas and disposed of his body off of Interstate 15. Authorities also allege Henley used his charity for at-risk youth, developing options, as a front to hide his criminal activity.
Transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan.
Henley is also accused of embezzling donations made to his charity by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses. In total, 19 people were arrested in connection to these crimes. Henley was charged with conspiracy to violate the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act. And
RICO. Charged with the RICO. They say he is running this like a mob organization. You hear what they're charging him with? Allegedly saying he's doing murder, sex trafficking. Bro, in the feds, this ain't a state case. This ain't a state case right here. This a fed case. Bro, this ain't looking good. This ain't looking good right here, man. This is true. Bro, they say you took the money and did that with it. That's diabolical, bro. That's diabolical. If you did that, that's diabolical, bro. Like, man, they keep calling him a murderer, a robber, and a thief. That's a bad Let's keep doing our homework, y'all.
Henley is now in custody. Authorities say he ran a mafia-like organization while masquerading as a music mogul and gang peacemaker. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez spoke to a rapper who worked with him. She joins us live with a story you'll see only on Fox 11. And this story breaking as we speak, Christina.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am hearing that Big U and the other person they were looking for, Brian Mejia, both turned themselves in. This is developing as we speak. And as we speak, people are coming up and saying, on the one hand, that he did a lot for the community. And then there are those like this woman who say things are not what they seem. Listen to her.
No, I'm not surprised because I've been fighting this fight for a long time.
Rapper Alicia Choi speaks about federal authorities accusing
cannot do evil when the cameras are off and smile and help kids when the cameras are on.
Choice, who you may have seen in rap videos like this one, says she was a budding artist when she first met him.
I was just a young kid wanting to rap and wanting to live out my dream and working hard. And, you know, he really took advantage of me. I wanted to help bring donations into his nonprofit Development Options. And with that being said, he just wanted to take over. He wanted to bully me. He wanted to control me. And when I wouldn't allow that, that's when he started jumping on me and beating me, extorting me, threatening people not to work with me. And I was scared for a long time to speak up. I was actually terrified.
And I want to emphasize, these are very serious accusations she is making. And, you know, she says it is her fear, which makes it very difficult to follow up on these things. But she says her fear kept her from going to police. She did not file police reports, but that she did try getting a restraining order at one point. Now, what the feds, and we'll go to his photo again because it's hard to see him as a person that the feds are saying what he did when we are used to seeing him in such a different light. What they're charging him with has nothing to do with what she is accusing him of. The charges do not include anything of what she's saying, but they do say that part of the investigation involves the murder of another young rapper back in Las Vegas. Back in 2021, I talked to police in Vegas, and they told me over the phone that the murder was over. Are you ready for this? A diss that he had written something in a song supposedly talking bad about Big U, and that is what
Wasn't that allegedly the reason for the Nipsey Hussle and Big U situation? A diss song?
why he ended up getting murdered. That's what the police were telling me. So it's just still developing. There's going to be a lot more to this whole thing, but we can tell you he has turned himself in, and I'm sure a lot of people are waiting to hear what he has to say about this, including us. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live Hayden Park. Back to you guys in the studio.
And Christina, there's a connection to Shaquille O'Neal as well, right?
You know, I have not had time to look into that, and I am so wary of the, you know, because what's happening is a lot of people were seen with him, were putting money into this nonprofit, and now the feds are saying that he took a lot of this money and it did not end up going to help kids. Again, keep in mind that doesn't mean that kids were not being helped. Names that I want to have time to really look into these allegations, because even with the feds saying it, these are personalities that are well loved in this community, and they need to also have a chance to respond for themselves.
They got Shaq going out. Shaq got all of the sponsorships. They don't need this right now. The Diesel do not need this right now. And she said, you know, I'm about to look into more of that. Shaq. You was taking Shaq money, taking everybody money. Some might have went to the kids, some might have went to you. Some might have all went to you. Some might have all went to the kids. Who knows, man? But these allegations that are being alleged are really serious and really difficult to fight. A RICO charge from the federal government is impossible to beat. Like I said, please let me know, you know, anybody, any story of somebody that beat the feds outright. They took it to trial and beat them. I'm gonna have to do my homework on that one. Because I don't know, I never heard a story of anybody doing that. I'm pretty sure it got to be somebody. Gotta be somebody that, you know, that did that before. But this is a bad art. At the end of the day, this is a bad art. He's facing an uphill battle. So now, Big U turned himself in. They got the first sketches of him in court. And sure, let's keep doing our homework. Let's go. But this is crazy, man. If this is true, this is diabolical. But at this time, it's all allegedly. The government has to prove their case. And he has to defend himself in the court of law and go from there. Let's go. Let's keep doing our homework.
Rolling 60s Crips gang made its first appearance in federal court. In fact, we just got this sketch in from the courtroom. The judge ordered Eugene his detention hearing, which is now scheduled for March 31st. Henley turned himself in to federal agents yesterday. Investigators also looking into his charity and how he used donations and grant money. NBC4's Alex Rozier joins us live with reaction. You will see for the first time only on 4. Alex.
Colleen, Eugene Henley Jr.'s charity received millions of dollars in grant money from the city's GRID program. That's the Gang Reduction and Youth Development Program. But the feds say his charity was a front for his criminal enterprise. And today we're hearing reaction grant recipients who reacted to this news. Eugene Henley Jr., known as Big U, is well known in the community.
This season 2 of Checking In.
On his podcast, seen here on YouTube, he's been joined by celebrities like Nick Cannon.
I said, I grew up in a church.
And Snoop Dogg.
The big homie.
Yes, sir.
But Big U's a nonprofit developing options that works to reduce gang violence.
They do tremendous work with youth, particularly around sports and gang intervention.
Dr. Robert Sacedo runs Community Build, another organization that works on gang reduction, and he knows Big U.
Your experience with Big U has been positive.
Oh, absolutely positive.
And that's why he was stunned to learn of his arrest. The feds say Big U ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud, and the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper.
I was shocked to hear, but we're always shocked when we hear the initial news. And that's why I always tell people, hey, let's not rush to judgment.
The feds also said Henley Jr.'s charity was a front for his criminal enterprise.
Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes.
Court papers said Developing Options has received millions in grant money from the City of LA's Gang Reduction and Youth Prevention Program, known as GRID. Dr. Ciceto's nonprofit is also a GRID grant recipient, and even after the arrest, he's a big believer in the program.
The GRID intervention and prevention employees across the spectrum of GRID agencies are really the silent heroes you don't know anything about or hear about. Several years ago, when murders in Los Angeles were at a high of 1,200 per year, that number's come down to, I think, just over a couple of hundred per year. And that's a direct result of us doing the type of work we do.
Not only does Dr. Ciceto believe in the program, he still speaks highly of Big U's charity.
I am aware of the great work that they've done in their section of town.
But Developing Options leader is now in custody, facing the possibility of decades behind bars.
And we just need to let the process take its place and see where it lands.
That's what I'm saying. I hope this situation right here doesn't put a black stain on the rest of the programs, because there's other recipients of the GRID grant. It was a grant for the program. So it was a GRID grant and then the GRID program. There's other organizations around LA that need that funding that's doing the right thing. And the Donald Trump administration is trying to cut that funding and all that. And they said they might use this as a catalyst to say, oh, we shouldn't be giving these community organizations any money. Look at this situation. They're stealing and doing all the boom, boom, boom. So I hope they don't do that. And I hope, the government don't cut the funding for that GRID program and they're able to get more grants through that program, man. Because it would be a shame if they use this. It would be a shame. It really would be a shame if they use this to stop giving the community activists that's really doing it the resources they need to do their job. I hope not, man, because that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Hope everybody really come out and fight for them to really keep their funding, no matter what happens with this situation right here. And I agree with the brother that said we gotta let this process play out and see what happens at the end, because he's gonna have his day in court and he's gonna get, his day in court. That's all. So, and they saying the murder, that murder situation is serious. That murder situation is serious. When you add the racketeering, extortion, sex trafficking, and then the last thing is that murder, that's difficult right there. Inside of RICO, that is difficult right there to beat. I'm not saying you can't beat it, but with 19 other people on there, and a lot of those people looking older or might not been cool with Big U, I'm just wondering who's going to hold the bricks. I don't know. I'm wondering.
Committed a series of crimes, including a murder back in 2021. NBC4's Alex Rozier live with details you see for the first time and only on 4. Alex.
Michael, Big U is in federal custody right now. Prosecutors say they have probable cause to believe that he killed a man in Las Vegas in 2021, then dragged his body in the desert. Today, I learned the man killed is closely connected to Big U's family.
What? When did you ever really learn how to play the drum?
Eugene Henley Jr.'s podcast, seen here on YouTube, is one of many ways he made his name.
It's season 2 of Checking In.
Henley Jr., known as Big U, interviewed celebrities.
The big homie. Yes, sir.
And he's run a charity and music label. But the feds say he's also a longtime leader of the Rolling 60s Crips street gang. And now he's in custody for racketeering crimes that include the murder of rapper Rayshawn Williams. Court papers say Williams, seen here on Instagram, was an artist for Big U's label Unique Music And in 2021, prosecutors say Williams wrote a song, quote, dissing Big U. Documents say Big U then kidnapped and murdered Williams in Las Vegas in retaliation for perceived disrespect. But before Williams was a rapper, he was a wide receiver for Crenshaw High School. The day after he was killed, the football program announced his death in this post on Instagram, saying in part, quote, he was a special guy to all of us. And not only did he play for Crenshaw, the wide receiver was teammates with Big U's son, Deion Henley. This LA Times video shows Henley throwing a pass to Williams. Deion Henley is now a linebacker for the LA Chargers. In 2023, the Times wrote a story about him with the headline, conceived in prison, Deion Henley was born into the dangerous world of his dad, who put him on a path to the NFL. Deion's quoted in the article saying, it's one heck of an origin story, adding, you know how they talk about anti-heroes, the people who are the bad guys, but they really aren't? That's my dad. But now his dad, Big U, is back in custody, and the feds say he's connected to a number of crimes, including the murder of his son's high school teammate, Rayshawn Williams.
Yo, they were there saying it was a homicide connected. But you trying to tell me it's connected to a rapper that was signed to you that made a diss track, body was dumped in Vegas? He played football with your son? They got the video, you son throwing him a pass, and what we doing here? Yo, these allegations are crazy. This is crazy, bro. When bro was really doing that, is diabolical, like I said. Everybody gets their day in court. All these charges are allegedly. He has to fight his case. The defense has to prove him guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. The feds have a 99.3 point whatever conviction rate. And with 19 other co-defendants on there, I wonder who's going to bend, fold, or break. If anybody bend, folds, or break. But, man, if you stayed this far with me, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the YouTube channel. We building the Chronic Conversation army over here. My bad, the Chronic Conversation family over here. Spill ENT army over here, you know what it is. But I'm going to keep updating y'all on this situation, on this case, as more information comes out. I think they said the case starts in May. So the trial, the case will be coming up soon. They're making this, they're speeding this up. So I'm going to be keeping everybody posted on this big new situation. And just go in the comments and let me think. I mean, let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. You know, what's your opinion? What's your thoughts on it? Man. This is another Chronic Conversation React video. Your boy Pete Rose. I'm going to keep y'all updated on that, man, on this whole situation with Big U and the indictment of 19 of the Rolling 60 Crips with him for alleged extortion, sex trafficking, and even murder, and allegedly murdering his former artist and his son's football teammate. I'm going to keep y'all posted. Stay tapped in the Chronic Conversation on YouTube. Make sure you share the page. Make sure you like the video. Leave a comment. Show some love to the kid. And you already know what it is. Like that, we out.